Well, good morning, everybody. Yeah, we're doing an early video today because I have time for it. And we're going to go over this absolute copium from the Washington Post because, the Washington Post. Opinion. Take note that this is an opinion piece and they're not going to give you facts that are worth a damn, so let's dive right into it. With his praise for Putin's invasion of Ukraine, Trump makes his apologists look foolish. Again. Yeah, makes us look foolish. Indeed. What are we saying, actually? This would not have happened under Trump. It is the primary contention. So let's start off with that. And that we don't want to be involved in another foreign war. So let's see what Trump actually said. We're going to go through this whole... Max Boot is the name of this columnist, and conveniently his face is not showing. Typical, I know. It's commonplace on the right that the only reason that Vladimir Putin is invading Ukraine is that President Biden is too weak to deter him. As one right-winger tweeted, they don't even quote the right-winger or the account. They just saying, right-wingers are saying this. I'm convinced that Putin would be a lot more hesitant to invade if Trump was president. Biden simply does not evoke any sense of strength or danger to our enemies. Well, that appears to check out and be true because Putin was shady and bouncy all throughout President Obama's presidency and throughout all of Biden's presidency, but during Trump he was relatively peaceful. He was kept at bay. We had sanctions on Russia. So, to believe this is to suffer from temporary amnesia. Is it amnesia to recognize reality now? This is what we call gaslighting in the media, but you're not shocked by this. Not at all. About how Donald Trump actually acted towards Putin while he was in office. Yeah, he treated him like the leader of a nation. Shock and awe, I know. Who can forget Trump's kowtow to Putin at Helsinki in 2018? You mean like how when they thought the mics were off, Obama told Putin that once he got reelected, he would have more leverage or something to that effect? Are we forgetting? Are we having amnesia about Obama trying to secretly talk to Putin while he thought no one else was listening? Are we having amnesia about that? Just maybe, possibly. Anyways, the U.S. president rejected the findings of the United States' own intelligence community about the hacking of the 2016 election because they bought Facebook ads, and you're counting that as quote-unquote hacking the election. There were no Russian hackers. They're just people buying ads and being more persuasive than you were. You fucking lost. The election was not hacked. Now, the fortification of 2020 is a whole different story because, fortifications, of course. And he said, President Putin says it's not Russia. I don't see any reason why it would be. Because it wasn't. It was trolls. It was the shitlords who took charge. Oh my God. Or who can forget Trump's use of U.S. military aid to extort the government of Ukraine into helping him politically? Oh, hang on. I know this one. This is when Joe Biden went to Ukraine, said, I will deny you the foreign aid we agreed to unless you remove that douchebag who's going to prosecute my son, or else you don't get any foreign aid. You mean exposing that corruption is what you call helping him out politically? Just to be perfectly clear, exposing a previous politician's corruption is helping Trump politically. Is that what we're supposed to get out of that? And what does that have to do with Russia? Just out of curiosity, what does Trump trying to reveal corruption that was obvious and blatant in Ukraine from Hunter Biden's goddamn own laptop have to do with him liking Russia? Explain, please. Or all of Trump's anti-NATO animus. Yeah, because they don't pay their fucking bills. They don't pay their fair share. We're sick of footing the bill. Trump mused... Where was I? Trump mused about pulling out of the alliance, questions Article 5 security guarantees, and ordered a withdrawal of 12,000 troops from Germany. Yeah, because we're not threatened by the Krauts anymore. They are already deeply humiliated and ritually emasculated to the point where the thought of a Sieg Heiling pug will send them into conniptions. Stop it. No more BTFOing the Germans for a while now. They don't need any more. We don't need troops. Troops in Germany for fucking what? It is true that the Trump administration sometimes pursued tough on Russia policies independent of the president. Bullshit. Bullshit. The sanctions weren't authorized by Trump. What is this fucking retcon? This is gaslighting to the fucking extreme. Holy crap. It is true the Trump administration sometimes pursued tough on Russia policies independent of the president. My fucking ass. But this was largely the work of officials who were purged long before the end of Trump's term. Oh, the copium. Oh my God, the copium. By the way, the sanctions weren't lifted until Biden came into office. So regardless of who put them in place, Trump kept them in place because it was Trump's fucking policy. We would like sanctions on Russia just as much as we would like a Muslim travel ban. Thank you very much. Please and thank you. Please? No? Oh. Never mind. That would have been racist. Continuing onward, by the end of his presidency, Trump was surrounded by people such as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who has recently called Putin, quote, a very talented statesman, very shrewd, very capable, and I have enormous respect for him. Okay. So, I mean, Putin is a cold-blooded snake, not gonna lie, but, at least it's a snake that's acting in Russia's interest. At least Pompeo was willing to admit that Putin is the quote-unquote aggressor, and the Ukrainians are his victims. Yep. There's no controversy there. No such censure was evident in Trump's comments Tuesday. To the right-wing podcaster Buck Sexton, Putin's aggression against Ukraine is an act of genius, according to Trump, and he explained. See, they actually give him proper context, which is more than we would ever get before, from this obvious gaslighting shit piece. Putin declares a big portion of Ukraine, Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. It's almost like he wants Russia to be the United States now for, local breakup states. We could use that on our southern border. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. Oh, he's still trolling. He's still shit-talking these people. I love it. There are more army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace, all right. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's very savvy. Yeah. And what's Biden going to do about it? He ain't going to do shit because there's no will to fight. There's no will to fight. Putin knows there's no will to fight, and there ain't jack shit Joe Biden is going to do about it. Trump went on to rhapsodize. He sung a bohemian rhapsodization about his relationship with Putin. He liked me, I liked him, and to praise him as someone with a lot of charm and a lot of pride who loves his country. Nothing I can disagree with, because in all complete honesty, Trump probably knows the man better than I do or better than you do. Contrary to what everyone else is saying in the comment section. With those few words, Trump just made a fool of every right-winger who has tried to pretend that he would have been tougher on Putin than Biden is currently being. Wrong. Wrong. Trump did not make a fool of anybody. Trump's making a fool out of the left because, to be perfectly honest, every right-winger knows that despite how cozy rhetoric he and Putin had, he kept the sanctions. He kept Russia under his thumb. Oh, and by the way, weren't those lovely, according to Brian Williams, beautiful, majestic missiles heading over into Syria? Russia's proxy in the Middle East? As President Trump sent a huge fuck you to Putin. going, "You will not engage in proxy wars or I will crush you." Oh, look, that random Iranian warlord that is traveling in a convoy, I'm just going to bomb that guy just because fuck him in particular. Totally not a message being sent to Putin there. Totally being soft on Putin. Trump did claim that, quote, "this never would have happened with us." Because it never would have happened with us, because what also would have never happened, to be perfectly clear, ladies and gentlemen, is that Ukraine would have never entertained the option of joining NATO under President Trump. President Trump, God forbid, actually had respect for the needs of other nation states. He had to accommodate not just his allies, but his enemies as well. Russia's not a friend. And we don't have to pretend that they're a friend. That's not the point. The point is, Trump was savvy enough to understand, oh, don't touch Ukraine. Let's keep the bear sleeping over there. And let's not touch this whole Ukraine nonsense stuff. Impose deep sanctions on Russia and Putin. And by the way, whenever they engaged in proxy wars in the Middle East, BTFO them the fuck out like no other son of a bitch had ever seen before. And that foreign policy worked. Biden, on the other hand, lifting sanctions, the fuck up in Afghanistan, yeah, Putin smells weakness and he's gonna strike, and it's your fault. Biden. Trump didn't build that. Literally. So, but this is merely his usual rhetoric ploy. No, it's the goddamn truth, and we can all see it with our own lying eyes. Indeed, it's hard to think of a single negative word Trump has ever uttered about the Russian tyrant. Why do you have to say shit when you're doing things that are pissing them off? It doesn't matter how many times she says "I love you" if she goes and fucks around with your best friend and empties your bank account. What does the "I love you" mean? Putin got reamed by Trump regularly while having to kiss his ass. And that's just the way his most devoted supporters like it. It's true that many mainstream Republicans criticize Biden for being too weak on Russia. But the hardcore MAGA base thinks that Biden has been too hostile to Putin. No, we don't think you're being too hostile with Putin. To be perfectly clear, it's not that you're being hostile. You're being stupid. That's the difference. Now, being stupid might entail being slightly more hostile, but, no, it's not hostile. It's stupid. Who is viewed more favorably by Republican voters than Biden is? Well, why is it that Putin is viewed more favorably by Republican voters than Biden? Any guesses, anyone? Guesses. If you want to know why Republican voters who are informed might like Putin more than they like Biden, go and watch the other video, The Real Reasons Why Russia Invaded Ukraine. That's why Republicans like Putin more than we like Biden. Biden is a progressive corporate leftist shill. Fuck him. Tucker Carlson has become Putin's #1 American apologist. No, Tucker Carlson has become America's #1 apologist. Thank you very much. We don't want to be involved in any more foreign wars. Thank you. And a favorite of Russian state television. Well, because when you speak the truth, it just kind of resonates. That's what the West is for. That's what we're supposed to be. The shining beacon of shit no one else could possibly say or get away with. By incessantly arguing that the United States has no stake in Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Okay. Tucker said it. Tucker said the words. Now show me where he's wrong. Vladimir Putin does not want Belgium. He just wants to keep his western border secure. Fact check, that is true. It checks out. See Trump era, see Obama era, see Biden era. you notice a pattern in these things. When the Ukrainian question is in the negative and concerning NATO, the bear sleeps. The bear does not rouse. The bear does not care. That's why he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, and that makes sense. It does make sense. Now, where is your rebuttal, you... Carlson's views are echoed by other America Firsters. Right-wing troll Candace Owens. I'm going to let that sit there. Right-wing troll Candace Owens. These people have no idea how the culture war is being raised if you're going to label Candace Owens a right-wing troll. NATO, under the direction from the United States, is violating previous agreements and expanding eastward. We are at fault. Her fellow troll, Charlie Kirk. Oh my gosh. Charlie Kirk says it feels as if Putin is going into places that want him. It did look like that at first, didn't it? And then we saw the tanks. I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole talk about peacekeeping can only go so far. Not even I think Putin is there for peacekeeping, but I do support him conquering Russia, or he's already conquered Russia. I support him conquering Ukraine. I'm sorry, guys, I'm having way too much fun with this one. It is a family dispute, and we shouldn't get in the midst of that, that's for certain. Okay, he just goes over a bunch of quotes from alleged right-wingers. Heavy on the alleged. Compare right-wing complacency about Putin's invasion of Ukraine with their hysteria about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada ordering the arrests of anti-vaccine mandate protesters who were blocking major thoroughfares. Carlson claims that Canada canceled democracy while ignoring the actual existential threat to democracy in Ukraine. All right, let me break this one down for you. Justin Trudeau took a democracy and turned it into a dictatorship by fiat and without a vote. Now, Vladimir Putin is not being a snaky, cowardly punk and saying, I'm going to insidiously infiltrate your society and bend you to my will in a way that you cannot complain. No, he gave them the dignity of a war, knowing that he's a tyrant. This is not in dispute. Putin was never, ever an advocate of democracy. Let's be perfectly clear about that. He lets his people vote on occasion. As shown before in the previous video, he does let the people vote. They do have a parliamentary system, the Duma, as you would. But, no, this was not under the pretense of liberalism at all. Justin Trudeau is immoral because he has the pretense of liberalism. Putin does not. There's a difference here. Ahem. This is the authentic voice of Trump's America First movement, and it would be solidly in control of a second Trump term in a way it was not during most of his first term. Indeed, if Trump stages a comeback in 2024, he might well be counting on more political aid from Putin of the kind that he received in 2016. That is a load of crap. What a load of garbage. Because Putin didn't send any aid in 2016. As we said, it was random people buying Facebook ads and posting memes. So please don't insult our intelligence by suggesting that Trump is the tough on Russia candidate or that his volatility would deter Putin. He's more about Russia first and America first. Ooh, slam dunk. Fuck this guy. Either you're tone deaf, stupid, or just plain lying through your teeth. This is the ultimate copium. Trump loves Russia. Well, I think that's the article. Yeah, that's it. Thank God we made it. We're finally there. So, as always, guys, let's just wrap this up real quick. This article wants you to believe that if Trump were in office, Putin would still be on the warpath. History says that's not true. That is a bold and blatant lie. And the pattern of history as far as this issue is concerned is very clear. If there were clear sanctions on Russia and the Ukraine was in no way threatening to join NATO, we would not be in this bullshit. Period. End of discussion. And it is, in fact, Biden's fault. Because reasons we don't understand. Now, what you also have to understand is, I have no doubt that Putin is the one double dipping. Obama said to good old Putin, hey, I'll have more leverage once I get reelected, so don't at me, bro. And it was Joe Biden who lifted the sanctions on Putin in the first place that enabled him to start this whole chapter in the world's history right now. So it's Putin double dipping, and I'm not gonna celebrate him doing it, but let's look at the facts for what they are. If Putin was dealing with Trump, he'd be dealing with the straight shooter and know that if he stepped his toe out of line, he'd be getting his ass kicked. But he's not dealing with a straight shooter. He's not dealing with a man who's going to shove a foot up his ass. He's dealing with the kitty diddler who likes to sniff things at random and shits his pants at the Vatican. He's not afraid of us, nor should he be. That's it, everyone. Stay carnal and God bless.